Hey everybody, welcome to Life with Annie. I'm getting ready to make our supper here, and tonight we're going to be really simple. We're going to have hamburgers, but we're going to have a bit of a upgrade in the hamburger. We're going to have the New Orleans hamburgers. This is a recipe that I found probably 30 years ago, I guess, back in the 80s. And I'm not sure if it was a Natalie Dupree recipe show that I saw it on, or if it was our local show, Nancy Welch. But it was one of those two, and I saved the recipe and I make it from time to time, and it's really good. I'm doubling mine because I want to freeze some patties. But right now, I'll give you the ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and get these onions started. So for the single recipe amount, you're going to need to saute up one tablespoon of butter. But like I said, I am doubling this, so my portions are going to look a little bit larger. So we've got our onion in there, and I'm just going to let those start sauteing in this butter. And then you're going to need approximately 1 cup of chopped onion. I'm just doing one whole onion. It was kind of a large onion. It may not be quite doubling on my onion, but it's okay. I think it'll be fine. And then you're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of butter, like I said, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, and 1 pound of hamburger meat. You're going to melt your butter, add your onions and seasonings, and then add all that to your hamburger meat, and then you're going to make patties. And that's what we're doing. And usually when I make these hamburgers, I don't put anything on my hamburger other than mayonnaise. But of course you could dress it up with lettuce and tomato and whatever you like. But they are very flavorful. I really love these. I should make them more often than I do, but we're going to have them today. So I'm just going to let these kind of continue to saute here. I've got my seasonings here. A burger needs to be well seasoned. Alright, all those were doubled in measurement. Okay, and then we're just going to let these continue to saute up a little bit. I've got 2 pounds of hamburger meat in my bowl here. And when we get ready to eat tonight, I'm just going to pan fry these. You could do it out on your grill if you want to, but they have so much good flavor. I think they're quite good when you just cook them on the stovetop. But either way, they're delicious. Or I think so anyway. So you get these to the texture that you like. Because remember, we're going to cook these again when we make our patties. So if you like a little crunch with your onion, you don't have to cook it quite as long. And I do like a little crunch. And I think those are, for time's sake, they're okay for me because, like I say, I like a little crunchy onion. Alright, so I'm just going to pour this into my hamburger meat. Get all those seasonings out. Okay, and I'm going to set that back there so that I don't set anything on that burner. And so this is what we've got here so far. Let me see if I put it right here, if y'all can even see it better. No, but let me see if I've got y'all propped up on this makeshift little setup here. So anyway, let me just kind of mix this together because this is hot right now. And I don't want to burn my fingers trying to patty these out. Smells so good too. Y'all, I've been lazy today. Pretty lazy. I just finished watching a movie and I thought, Annabelle, you need to get up and get to work, get to doing something. I did a good bit yesterday and I got some laundry done yesterday. I still have one load I need to wash. And then I want to sweep and mop and run the vacuum cleaner. Callie Rose, her name is Callie Rose for now, is afraid of the loud noises. So when I vacuum, I usually like for Matt to be home and he'll go back in that room with her and kind of pet her and so she doesn't get scared. So I might wait to vacuum tonight. All right, so we're getting this pretty mixed in. I want to just get it to a point where I can actually get in there and start patting out the burgers. And I think the hamburger meat was cool enough to cool down those onions quite a bit. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so we're going to wipe this off. Now I've got paper plate here and I've got a couple of my parchment sheets that I get. And somebody asked me where I get these. I found these at the Dollar Tree. And I've gotten them there a couple of times. So I guess it's something maybe they keep in stock pretty regular. But they come in handy for this kind of job. So, all right. So I'm going to make some burgers here. And I'm not going to stay on here while I make this entire bowl of hamburger meat. We are going to have, I'm out of French fries, so I don't have any French fries. And I don't really feel like cutting up a bunch of potatoes. Matt doesn't need a ton of that anyway. So I had bought some baked beans. So I think we're just going to have baked beans with our burgers tonight. And I bought some brioche buns, so I think we're gonna put them on brioche buns tonight. And that is gonna be our supper. As I dropped an onion there, get you back in there. But I'll be looking forward to this meal. There we go. Do a couple here and maybe two more, and then I'm going to freeze a layer of these for another day. What I do when I freeze them is I'll get like a freezer bag or a lock and lock, whatever you want to use. And I will just put some in there and put some layers of that on there, which I need to put layer. I'm just going to put, I think, one more on there. That way Matt can take one to work one day and I can have one for lunch one day. So we've got that. So I'm just going to go, I'm going to pat these out, freeze these next ones that I'm doing. And they're going to be good, I can tell you that. I love the New Orleans hamburgers. Again, I'll go over the ingredients. And this is the same card that I had written this down on however bazillion years ago. Okay, so we've got, let me use my elbow, a cup of chopped onion, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 pound of hamburger meat. So I'm just going to sit that in there till I get my... All right, everybody, that is it. I'm just going to continue on here. I'll put those in the refrigerator until it's time for supper. And it's going to be easy, simple, but it's going to be delicious. All right, let me get off of here. I'm going to turn y'all off with my knuckle because my hands are messy. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll post a picture of our burgers later. Bye, everybody, and thanks for watching.